Hello, Pam here with BeeCreative Crafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made these adorable hat ornaments using scrap yarn and an empty toilet paper roll. Alright, let's talk supplies. You may already have everything on hand that you're going to need. First up, scrap yarn, an empty toilet paper roll, a ruler, scissors, and some cotton balls or tissue. Cut your toilet paper roll into rings about 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide. Cut your yarn into 40 12-inch strips. I'm using a 4-weight yarn. If your yarn is thicker, you may not need as many, or if it's thinner, you may need a few more. Take one strand of the yarn and set it aside. We'll use this piece later. Now let's get started putting the yarn on the empty ring. Take one strand of yarn and fold it in half. Put the loop end through the center of the ring. Take the tail end of the yarn and bring it on the outside of the ring. Put it through the yarn loop and pull to secure on the paper ring. Grab another strip of yarn and continue this process until the ring is completely covered. Using your fingers, push the yarn strand up close to the one before it for better coverage. Once all 39 strands have been added to the paper ring, your hat will look something like this. You shouldn't be able to see any of the paper ring. If you can still see paper, cut a few more strips until it's completely covered. Now push the tail ends of the yarn back through the center of the ring. This will form the brim of your hat. Check to make sure all of the strands have been pushed through and then straighten out the yarn on the other side. Your hat should now look kinda like a jellyfish. These tiny rubber bands aren't listed in the supply list and are not necessary at all, but I had some on hand and wanted to see how well they would work with this project. They worked fine, but they do grab the yarn a bit. Since I'd already filmed this, I left it in, but for all other hat ornaments that I've made, I only used the yarn strand that we set aside at the beginning. If you like the idea of these little rubber bands, you can find them in your hair accessory aisle at most stores. To just use the yarn strand, grab the one you set aside earlier and place it here. Now, hang on a few seconds while I demo the mini rubber band. Mini rubber band users, grab one of your rubber bands and bunch up your yarn tails into a ponytail. Then wrap the rubber band around a few times to secure. After you've done this step, grab your strand of yarn that you set aside earlier. Now we're all back in the same spot. Put the two ends together to center up the hat. To tie your yarn, we're going to wrap it twice. Loop it around once, and then taking the tail end, go back through and twice, and then pull tight to secure. Then you'll repeat this process one more time. Wrap it once, then twice, and pull to secure. Bringing your ends back together, now you're just going to tie a knot in the end of the yarn to secure and create a loop that you can use for hanging. Grab the cotton balls and give them a couple of pulls to fluff them up. You can also use fiberfill, toilet paper, a tissue, or a small wad of paper, just whatever. This step is used to help shape your hat. You'll put the cotton ball in the ring and push it up into the yarn ponytail. Then repeat this step with the other 2 cotton balls. We're almost done. Just have to shape the palm on top of the hat. Be sure to put your hanger strand out of the way so it doesn't accidentally get trimmed. Check your tail ends to make sure they're all pulled through. Once it looks good to you, grab your scissors and let's give this palm a trim. Gather the tail ends up and cut them across all the same length. Reposition the yarn to make sure that all of the strands have been cut evenly. For a looser palm, leave the yarn tails longer. For a smaller, more compact palm, trim the strands shorter. Once the palm is to the size that you like, take your scissors and trim around the edges to give it a little more shape. Give the palm a little fluff, and now your ornament is ready to hang on the tree. Here's a comparison of the brims. The hat on the right, I used a 1-inch toilet paper ring, and the one on the left, I used a 2 centimeter or roughly 3/4 of an inch toilet paper ring. I made up some DIY kits for a craft show last year and included absolutely everything needed to make one ornament. My plan was to print up my blog tutorial with the instructions, but I was running low on time, so instead I put in one of my business cards with a link to my blog. Next time, I'll be sure to also include the instructions along with the links to my blog and to this tutorial. I want to show you that everything does fit in this little baggie. The scissors, the cotton balls, and the baggies all came from Dollar Tree. I picked up the scissors in the school supply aisle and they came 2 to a pack. I pre-cut the yarn strips and the paper ring. You can also use an empty paper towel roll for the rings. Placing the yarn in the paper ring and folding it around it helped the ring keep its shape. This kit was left over from 2019 Christmas craft show season and the ring held up great. I made up the kits in a variety of colors with scrap yarn in my stash, but if you need yarn, you can pick it up at most craft stores and sometimes even at Dollar Tree. I hope y'all enjoyed my hat ornament tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel with all your crafty friends. Until next time, happy crafting!